Preparing for an Agile interview can be a daunting task. This video will guide you through the top 25 Agile interview questions and answers, designed to equip you with the knowledge required to ace the interview. Each question is carefully selected based on its relevance in the current Agile environment. Detailed answers are provided, allowing you to understand the rationale behind each response. Confidence is key when interviewing, and this video aims to build just that. 1. What is Agile methodology? Agile methodology is a project management and product development approach that is centered on delivering work in small, iterative cycles, instead of delivering it all at once towards the end. This method allows for more flexibility and adaptability to changes. It promotes collaborative effort among the team members and stakeholders, frequent reassessment of plans, and early delivery of functional components of the product or software. One key feature of Agile is its focus on customers and their satisfaction. It achieves this by engaging customers throughout the project, incorporating their inputs and making necessary changes based on their feedback. In essence, Agile methodology is about adaptability, flexibility, continuous improvement, and delivering maximum value to customers. 2. Can you explain the Agile Manifesto? The Agile Manifesto is a formal proclamation of 4 key values and 12 principles that serve as the guiding philosophy for Agile project management. These values and principles prioritize individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. They emphasize the importance of frequent and continuous delivery of valuable software, satisfaction of the customer, and a flexible approach to changes. This manifesto was created by a group of developers in 2001 to find an alternative to the heavily structured and rigid traditional software development methods. 3. What are the main differences between Agile and Waterfall methodologies? Agile and Waterfall methodologies diverge significantly. Agile is iterative, allowing for continuous feedback and adjustment throughout the project. It is highly flexible, with work divided into smaller segments or sprints. This enables teams to respond quickly to changes or problems. The client is involved throughout the process, enabling immediate feedback and adjustments. Waterfall, on the other hand, is linear and sequential. Each stage of the project is completed in full before the next begins, meaning once a phase is finished, it can't be revisited. This approach requires all project requirements to be defined upfront and doesn't allow for changes midway through. The client is typically only involved at the beginning and end of the project. This can lead to issues if the end product doesn't meet the initial vision. Agile is ideal for projects where requirements are expected to change, while Waterfall is suited for projects with clear, unchanging requirements. 4. What is your understanding of Scrum? Scrum is an Agile framework which is often used in product and software development. It is designed to add value to the customer through the product incrementally, prioritizing the most important features first. The framework relies on self-organizing, cross-functional teams who work in time-boxed iterations known as sprints, typically lasting 2 to 4 weeks. During a sprint, the team works to complete a set of user stories from the product backlog. At the end of each sprint, the team reviews their progress and plans for the next sprint in a series of Scrum ceremonies. Scrum also emphasizes regular communication and continuous improvement. 5. What are user stories, and why are they important in Agile? User stories are a crucial component of Agile methodology. They represent the requirements or needs of the user in a simple, understandable language. User stories are typically written from the perspective of the end user and describe what they want to achieve from a particular feature in the software. In Agile, user stories play a pivotal role as they help to create a user-centric product. They are key in understanding the user's point of view and help the development team to deliver a product that truly meets user needs. Additionally, user stories foster effective communication and collaboration within the team, thus promoting a more productive and efficient work environment. User stories also aid in prioritizing tasks, enabling teams to focus on high-value features first. This ensures that the development efforts are directed towards creating a product that provides significant value to the user. Thus, user stories are essential in Agile for creating a successful and user-oriented product. 6. How long is a typical Scrum sprint? A typical Scrum sprint's length can vary depending on the project, team, and organization. However, it generally lasts between 1 to 4 weeks. The length is chosen based on the team's comfort level and the nature of the project, with the idea of allowing enough time for a usable and potentially releasable product increment to be created, but not so much that the project's scope drifts. It is critical that the team adheres to the chosen duration for all their sprints to maintain consistency and predictability. It's also worth noting that the sprint includes sprint planning, daily scrums, development work, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. 7. What is a Scrum Master's role? The Scrum Master's role is critical in an Agile environment. They are not the traditional team lead or project manager but act as a buffer between the team and any distracting influences. The Scrum Master ensures that the Scrum framework is followed. This involves helping the team to understand and stick to Scrum theory, rules, and practices. They are responsible for protecting the team from external and internal distractions and interruptions, enabling them to focus on the tasks at hand. They also remove obstacles that may be hindering the team from doing their work. The Scrum Master is the mediator for any conflicts that arise and fosters an environment where the team members feel comfortable expressing their opinions and concerns. The Scrum Master also works with the product owner, assisting them in managing the product backlog effectively, ensuring that it is clear and concise. They facilitate Scrum events as requested or needed and promote continuous improvement within the team. They are also the team's advocate, helping the organization understand the benefits of Scrum and promoting its adoption. 8. What is a product owner's role? The product owner plays a pivotal role within an Agile team. They are responsible for defining and prioritizing the product backlog, ensuring the team understands the items in the product backlog to the level needed. They are the key stakeholder of the project and represent the voice of the customer to ensure the team is working on the right things based on business value. Their main tasks include creating, refining, and ordering product backlog items, making decisions regarding functionality and deadlines, accepting or rejecting work results, and tracking progress towards goals. The product owner also collaborates closely with the Scrum Master and the development team to ensure a smooth implementation of the project. They are the link between the team and the outside world, and they ensure transparency into the upcoming work of the team. 9. What are sprint reviews and retrospectives? Sprint reviews and retrospectives are crucial in Agile methodology. Sprint reviews are meetings that happen at the end of a sprint where the team, alongside stakeholders, discuss the work completed and not completed. This enables everyone to understand what was achieved during the sprint, the challenges faced, and how to move forward. On the other hand, sprint retrospectives are internal team meetings held after the sprint review. The team reflects on the past sprint, discussing what went well, what didn't, and what can be improved in the next sprint. This helps the team to continuously improve and become more efficient in their work. 10. How do you handle impediments in Scrum? Impediments in Scrum are handled by identifying the issue that is obstructing the team's progress. Once identified, we communicate it to the Scrum Master. The role of the Scrum Master is crucial here as they have the responsibility to either resolve the impediment or take it to the higher authority who has the power to address it. If the impediment is within the team's control, we discuss it in our daily Scrum or in a separate meeting and come up with a solution together. The key here is to address the impediment as soon as overall productivity is not hampered. In cases where the impediment is not within our control, we make necessary adjustments to our sprint backlog and continue working on other items. The Scrum Master will follow up on the progress of the impediment resolution. Regular communication and transparency are crucial in handling impediments in Scrum. 11. Describe a challenging situation you faced while working in an Agile environment. How did you resolve it? In one of my past projects, we had a very tight deadline and we were falling behind. One of the main reasons was constant changes in requirements. Not only did this impact our progress, it also caused confusion and friction within the team. As the Scrum Master, I realized that we needed to improve our backlog refinement process. I initiated a conversation with the product owner and stakeholders to explain the impact of frequent changes and the need for a more stable backlog. We agreed to have more frequent and focused backlog refinement sessions, where all changes were discussed and prioritized. This helped us to manage the changes more effectively and improved our pace significantly. In addition, we made sure that the team's concerns were heard and addressed, which helped to resolve the internal conflicts and improved our team dynamics. 12. How do you measure team velocity? Velocity is measured by summing up the points for all fully completed user stories in a sprint. It's crucial to consider only the user stories that are completely done. If a story isn't finished, its points should not be included in the velocity calculation. It's also important to remember that velocity is not a measure of productivity. It's a measure of predictability. With time, a team's velocity should become fairly stable, and this can be used as a guide for future planning. Velocity works best when story points are used for estimation and the team has a consistent composition. In such a scenario, velocity can be a useful tool for planning and forecasting. However, it can be inaccurate if team members are frequently added or removed, or if the team is not consistent in their understanding and application of story points. 13. What techniques do you use for estimating user stories? Estimating user stories can be done through several methods. One popular method is planning poker, where each team member makes a secret estimate of the effort required for a user story, then all reveal simultaneously. This promotes honest estimates without influence from others. If there's a large discrepancy, the team discusses the user story more in depth. Another popular technique is t-shirt sizing, where user stories are categorized as XS, S, M, L, XL. This is a more abstract method that avoids getting caught up in exact hours or days. Lastly, the Fibonacci sequence is also used. This method acknowledges the uncertainty in larger tasks by having the numbers grow exponentially. Different methods work better for different teams or projects, so it's important to have experience with a range of techniques. When deciding which to use, consider the size and experience of your team, the complexity of the project, and the level of uncertainty. 14. How do you ensure effective communication within an Agile team? Communication is a critical factor for the success of an Agile team. To ensure effective communication, I would encourage open dialogue and transparency within the team. Daily stand-up meetings would be a necessity to discuss progress and potential roadblocks. I would also implement tools like Jira, Trello, or Asana to keep track of tasks and progress. Regular feedback loops are also essential to maintain open lines of communication. This could be done through sprint reviews and retrospectives, where team members can share their experiences, what worked well, and what didn't. In addition, I would foster an environment where everyone feels comfortable sharing ideas and opinions. This involves creating a psychologically safe space where team members are not afraid to voice their concerns or suggest improvements. Moreover, it's important to ensure that communication is not only frequent but also clear and concise. This could be achieved by setting clear expectations, defining roles and responsibilities, and having a common understanding of project goals and objectives. Finally, to promote effective communication, I would advocate for co-location or virtual equivalent, where possible. Being in the same physical or virtual space can facilitate spontaneous discussions, leading to quicker problem-solving and decision-making. 15. Can you explain what a burndown chart is and how it's used? A burndown chart is a graphical representation used in Agile project management to visually track the progress of a project. It shows the amount of work remaining versus time. The x-axis represents time, in days, and the y-axis represents the amount of work left to complete. Each day, the chart is updated to reflect the tasks completed and those remaining. The burndown chart is instrumental for project managers and teams to estimate if they are on track to complete their project within the set timeframe. If the actual work line deviates significantly from the ideal work line, it's an indicator that the project might not meet its deadline. The chart also helps in identifying bottlenecks or issues in the project, allowing the team to take corrective measures. In Agile, the burndown chart is a powerful tool to improve transparency, predictability, and adaptability. It's used in daily stand-ups and sprint planning to keep everyone informed and aligned, and make necessary adjustments to the project timeline or resources. 16. What is continuous integration, continuous deployment, (CCD) in Agile? Continuous integration, continuous deployment, (CCD), is a crucial part of Agile methodology. It refers to the practices that involve continuous building, testing, and deployment of software. CCD reduces the risks in software release process and enables faster delivery of functionalities to end users. In the context of Agile, C ensures that code changes by developers are regularly built, tested, and merged to a shared repository to prevent any integration problems. CD, on the other hand, automates the delivery of applications to selected infrastructure environments. The main aim of CCD in Agile is to provide rapid, reliable, and repeatable process for delivering software in a consistent manner. CCD makes it possible for teams to frequently update applications at a high speed, thereby meeting the needs of the business and customers more efficiently. It also encourages a culture of shared responsibility and improves visibility into the application development process. 17. How do you incorporate feedback into your Agile process? Incorporating feedback into the Agile process is achieved through regular communication with stakeholders and team members. One key method is by conducting sprint reviews at the end of each sprint, where completed work is demonstrated to the stakeholders. Here, their feedback is solicited and then used to make necessary adjustments in the upcoming sprints. Retrospectives are another vital process where the team reflects on the past sprint, discussing what went well, what didn't, and what can be improved. This feedback helps in refining the process, making it more efficient and productive. Another way to incorporate feedback is through the daily stand-ups. These meetings are an opportunity for team members to share updates, difficulties, and suggestions for improvement. By fostering an open communication culture, we ensure that feedback is not just received but also acted upon, improving the Agile process continuously. Finally, user stories and their acceptance criteria are another way of incorporating feedback. These are developed based on the direct feedback from the end users or the product owner, ensuring that the end product aligns with the user's needs and expectations. 18. What challenges have you encountered when transitioning from waterfall to Agile? Transitioning from a traditional waterfall approach to an Agile mindset often brings about various challenges. One significant issue is changing the organizational culture and mindset. Waterfall is a linear, structured method where each phase is dependent on the completion of the previous one. On the other hand, Agile emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, customer satisfaction, and embracing changes. Thus, the biggest challenge lies in shifting the mindset of the team from a rigid process to a more flexible and collaborative one. Another challenge is lack of training and understanding of Agile principles and practices. Agile is not just a project management methodology but a philosophy that requires a deep understanding of its principles. Inadequate knowledge and understanding of Agile can lead to misunderstanding and misapplication of the methodology. Lastly, resistance to change is a common human trait and poses a big challenge during the transition. Team members who are comfortable with the waterfall method may resist the change, leading to friction and slowing down the transition process. To overcome these challenges, it's important to provide proper training about Agile principles and practices, communicate the benefits of Agile clearly, and create a supportive environment that encourages and rewards change. 19. How do you prioritize items in the product backlog? Prioritizing items in the product backlog is a key aspect of Agile methodology. This process is primarily driven by the product owner, but it's also a collaborative effort with the team and stakeholders. The aim is to ensure that the team is always working on the most valuable features. There are several strategies for prioritizing the backlog. One common approach is using a value-based system, where items deliver the most business or customer value are placed at the top. Another strategy is risk-based prioritization, where items with the highest risk or uncertainty are prioritized to tackle them early in the project. The Moscow method is often used, classifying items as must-have, should-have, could-have and won't-have. This method helps in assigning a level of importance and urgency to each item. Lastly, feedback from stakeholders and customers is crucial in backlog prioritization. Their input can help identify what features or improvements are most needed or desired. No matter the strategy, the key is regular reevaluation of the backlog to ensure that priorities have not shifted over time. 20. What is the significance of having cross-functional teams in Agile? Cross-functional teams are essential in Agile because they bring together a diverse set of skills and expertise, enabling the team to handle all aspects of a project. This eliminates the need for handoffs between different departments or specialists. A cross-functional team can work more efficiently as they can communicate directly, collaborate effectively, solve problems collectively, and make decisions promptly. This approach fosters creativity and innovation, as various perspectives collide. It also allows for rapid response to change, which is a cornerstone of Agile methodology. A cross-functional team is self-organized, meaning they decide on the best way to accomplish their work, increasing ownership and engagement. 21. If a key team member leaves just before a sprint, how would you handle it? Adjusting to an unexpected change like this can be challenging, but not impossible. My first step would be to assess the impact of the absence of the key team member on the upcoming sprint. If their role is critical and cannot be covered by the remaining team members, I would consider bringing in a temporary replacement or pushing back the sprint, if possible. If their tasks can be redistributed among the existing team members, I would do so, making sure not to overload anyone. I would also make sure to communicate this change and its implications clearly to the team and stakeholders. It's important to remember that Agile is about adapting to change, and this situation is no different. The key is to remain flexible and open to adjustments as necessary while ensuring the team's performance and morale are not negatively affected. 22. Your team wants to adopt Kanban after working with Scrum for a while. How would you facilitate this transition? To facilitate this transition, I would first ensure that each team member understands the fundamental differences between Scrum and Kanban. Providing adequate training sessions and resources would be important. For smoother transition, understanding the reasons behind this change is crucial. This would help in addressing any potential resistance or objections. Mapping out a clear plan, which includes defining the workflow steps, setting work in progress, WIP, limits, and identifying what triggers moving an item from one column to the next can be beneficial. Regularly reviewing and adjusting our approach based on observations and feedback would also be a part of the transition process. It's crucial to remember that the transition should be gradual and that patience is needed. It's not about changing everything overnight but about improving and adapting over time. 23. How would you respond if stakeholders frequently change requirements during a sprint? In Agile, change is expected, but constant changes during a sprint can disrupt the team's workflow. To handle this situation, I would first seek to understand why changes are happening so often. If it is due to unclear requirements or poor communication, I would work on improving these areas. Next, I would suggest implementing a change control process. This would involve the stakeholder submitting a change request that the team can review and decide whether to include in the current sprint or add to the backlog for future sprints. I'd also discuss with the stakeholder the impact of constant changes on the team's performance and productivity. Regular and open communication with stakeholders can help manage their expectations and understand the importance of limiting changes during a sprint. By doing this, it can create a balance between accommodating changes and maintaining the team's productivity. 24. Describe how you would handle conflicts within an Agile team. In situations of conflict within an Agile team, my first step would be to encourage open communication. It's essential for everyone to express their perspectives and feelings and understand each other's viewpoints. Sometimes, simply talking things out can lead to resolution or compromise. Should this approach not resolve the issue, I would employ conflict resolution techniques such as mediation or bringing in a neutral third party. I would aim to facilitate a discussion where everyone feels heard and validated, working towards an agreeable solution for all parties involved. Maintaining a positive team dynamic is paramount, so I would also ensure that any resolution supports team cohesion and productivity. It's important to remember that conflicts are inevitable in any team, but if managed effectively, they can lead to growth and improved understanding among team members. 25. What role does documentation play in an Agile environment? Documentation plays a vital role in Agile, providing a means of communication, understanding, and transparency. However, Agile values working software more than comprehensive documentation. So, instead of a detailed documentation, Agile focuses on the necessary and just enough documentation. This approach ensures that the team doesn't spend excessive time on documentation and instead concentrates on delivering working software. The documentation in Agile is intended to be lean, relevant, and up-to-date. It's a living document that evolves with the project and adapts to changes. The simplicity of the documentation promotes communication and collaboration among team members, stakeholders, and customers. Remember, while Agile does not eliminate documentation, it promotes documentation that provides value to the project and is not overly time-consuming or complex to maintain. It encourages maintaining essential documents that serve a clear purpose and have a real audience. In closing, we hope this guide to the top 25 Agile interview questions and answers has been beneficial in preparing you for your upcoming job interview. Remember, the key to nailing these questions is understanding the Agile methodology and its principles, and being able to apply them to real-world scenarios. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content like this. We wish you the best of luck in your interview and future Agile adventures.